Hello everyone and welcome to Innovation Tech Community. Today is a week 5 of this Microsoft AA days. So today we have one of our Microsoft MVP to share his expertise on AI agents and M365 and everything. So meet my you know today's guest speaker like Narsimha Perumal. He's a Microsoft MVP and he's the founder of GG Technologies, and he's going to demonstrate something on AI agent, how we can use these AI agents in real life and the business requirement perspective and all. So he would like to share all the insight. So if you have any requirement, if you have anything in business use cases, feel free to drop your queries in the chat so that Nasimha Perumal sir is going to answer your all the queries during the session. So right now, I'm handing over to Narsim Perumal sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Pradap. Thank you for this opportunity, Pradap. Thanks a lot. And in today's session, I am Narsima Puramal Chandramohan. I am an Office 365 MVP for past 10 years, and I am the co-founder of GG Technologies Private Limited. And my company does tenant-to-tenant migration for M365 workloads, all the workloads, including Viva Engage, Power Platform, Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams Chat, and everything. So without wasting much time, we shall jump into the session. So in today's session, we are going to learn about how to deploy and manage agents securely at scale with the Copilot control system. In today's session, we are not going to see how we can build AI agents, something like that. Today, we are going to see the other side, how the IT professionals or the security admins can manage the AI agents at scale. We are seeing the adoption of agents and all the enterprises. It is growing exponentially. So this session is dedicated mostly on management, security and management. And recently Microsoft released Copilot control system in Ignite, and we are going to speak mainly on the security part, the using Copilot control system, how we can govern and manage the agent securely. So this is the agenda for the day. So we will be talking about Copilot control system, and we will touch a bit on governance, security, and talk about extensibility and agent management. So why does it all matter today or now? The number and the complexity of AI tools and agents in our environments is growing exponentially, as I have mentioned earlier. For developers, this means we are not just building more agents. As a developer, we are also responsible for ensuring they operate securely. The agents that we build needs to be operate securely, efficiently, and within the enterprise great guardrails. Recently, Gartner survey reveals that over 70% of technical stakeholders cite security and governance as their top challenge when they are adapting and deploying AI solutions. The risks are not just theoretical. We are talking about the real concerns like data oversharing, unintended leaks, and the need for granular access controls. But security is not the only issue. Nearly the same proportion of respondents flagged the uncontrolled cost and the agent sprawl as the critical pain points. As a developer, we know how quickly the cloud spend and the resource proliferation can get out of hand without proper monitoring and automation. But the final kicker is this one. Only one in seven organizations believe they have the right governance framework in place to manage the coming wave of agentic system. That means most of the teams are flying blind when it comes to policy enforcement, lifecycle management, and compliance for AI agents. Mainly, what the survey reveals is that the majority of concern for the technical stakeholders is that uh, how we can manage the security and governance, and are they are ready. They don't want to have any leaks or data oversharing or anything. They don't want to get their company or anything in trouble by making any unintended leaks or anything to the AI. And the main thing is that only one in seven companies, that is around only 14% of the companies today have some framework, right? Framework for governance for this agentic wave. So this means that most of the enterprises or the organizations are flying blind when it comes to policy enforcement, lifecycle management, and compliance for AI agents. So now let's see how Microsoft 365 Copilot is built on trust. A significant portion of Microsoft security, privacy, and governance commitments are enforced automatically within the architecture of M365 Copilot. These controls like encryption, tenant isolation, and compliance framework are managed by Microsoft and operate transparently in the background. But developers and IT professionals, we know that every organization has unique requirements. That is why Microsoft 365 Copilot is designed not just with building safeguards, but also with a rich set of management tools and APIs. These empower customers to configure, monitor, and govern Copilot and the agent behavior according to their own policies and business needs. So basically, we already Microsoft 365 Copilot is built on a platform or a basement with a strong layer of security layers, various security layers. But apart from that, the companies, each and every organization have their own requirements and business needs. So the Microsoft is not just living with the built-in layer of security alone. They are providing rich tools to manage the agents and Copilot according to each company's or the enterprise's business needs and their policies. So now comes the Copilot control system, the hot topic that we are going to discuss for today's session. So Microsoft called this integrated set of tools, controls, and reporting capabilities as the Copilot control system or CCS. Why? Why CCS? CCS was developed in response to real-world challenges organizations face with AI adoption, security, governance, cost management, and agent sprawl, and the need for actionable insights. Microsoft's goal is to consolidate these principles and capabilities into a single, extensible platform for enterprise AI governance. And here comes the architecture. The CCS architecture has three pillars: security and governance, management controls, and measurement and reporting. So, the first one, the security and governance. Data is protected within the Microsoft security trust boundary, as we already seen, and ensuring the compliance and multi-layer security. And the IT admins and security admins have access to advanced tools, the various tools Microsoft is providing, like SharePoint Advanced Management, Microsoft Purview, supporting regular we are going to use Microsoft Purview for supporting regulatory compliance and privacy requirements. And the second pillar, the management controls. CCS provides granular control for licensing, cost management, and agent lifecycle. This will help prevent agent sprawl, the cost sprawl or the unintended, the agents getting, most of the users are getting the makeup permission, building it and deploying it, ensuring only the authorized user have access to the right tools. The admin can customize policies and workflows to align with their organization's operational model. And then the final one, the data driven insights, the measurement and reporting. CCS enables organizations to quantitatively track Copilot and agent usage, adoption, and productivity impact. The analytics tool helps us to measure the return of investment ROI and inform ongoing AI strategy. Currently, where this Copilot control system today? Currently, these CCS capabilities are distributed across various places like Microsoft 365 Admin Center, Power Platform Admin Center, Viva, and Purview. So currently, it is distributed in various places and not a single plane of glass is not yet ready. And Microsoft is actively working to standardize management experience and unify information architecture and streamline journeys like billing and lifecycle management. So, so this Copilot control system is not a single thing. It has been split and spread across the various existing places like M365 Admin Center, Power Platform Admin Center, Viva, and Purview. So we are going to see in today's session, we are not just going to look at a single place. We will be jumping between Purview, Power Platform Admin Center, M365 Admin Center, we want everywhere. So let's dive into agent governance and security a bit more. So governance is not just a control mechanism; it is a balance beam that let us innovate confidently without falling into risk or chaos. Governance concerns look different for everyone. You may know that. As a developer, we know this a lot. We may face a lot of questions. For makers or the developers, the people actually building agents, their focus is simple. Can I build something that answers on my behalf, or I can build something or an agent that can answer on my behalf, or can I make agents that drive efficiency and cut costs? These makers are motivated by speed and creativity. The governance here can't feel like a straight jacket. We don't want to have the governance needs to look like a speed breaker. It needs to enable them to build quickly but safely. That's the key point. We want to have the makers build the agents quickly but also at the same time safely. For CISO, their perspective is almost the opposite. They are asking, what are my data security risks? How do I protect against threats? They are also worried about things like access control, preventing data exploitation, and staying compliant with regulations. This is where the governance provide guardrails, ensuring agents don't run wild with sensitive information. And for CIOs are thinking about the larger pictures. They always have a very big larger picture. How do we make sure the solutions follow guidelines? How do we get visibility into what's being used? They want confidence that the right review and approval process are in place, what the ROI is clear, and what are the innovation aligns to business strategy. Governance here is not just risk management. It is also about scaling the agent adoption responsibly and making sure investments pay off. So Microsoft Copilot governance is designed to strike that balance, empowering innovation while keeping the security and compliance front and center. So we have different personas. The agents are the developers are the makers, CISO and CIO. Each have their own views, but everything should not hinder the effort of the developer or makers. The creativity should flow automatically, and the innovation should foster. So here by means of security and compliance, we should not stop them, but we need to help them to build agents quickly and also securely. That is the main key point. Now let's see the spectrum of Copilot agent capabilities. So you are many have maybe already know this. The agents are not one size fits all. They exist on a spectrum depending on how complex they are and what are they are designed to do. We have retrieval agents. This is the simplest type. They pull information, ground it in data, and answer questions. And we have the second one, the task agents. They take actions, automate workflows, and replace repetitive tasks. They are more capable, but they are also more impactful. And we have autonomous agents. These are most advanced. They can operate independently, plan dynamically, orchestrate other agents, and escalate when needed. So the autonomous agents can work in group, and they can decide independently and to perform a given goal. So you can think this as a journey, the retrieval, task, and autonomous. As we move across the spectrum, the power and the risk also increases. When you move up the ladder from retrieval to task and from task to autonomous, the risk also increases. And if the power and risk increases across the spectrum, then our control needs to scale too. That is where the agent control model comes in. So just like agents exist on a spectrum of capability, the way we manage them has to scale. That's what this control model is all about. So Microsoft recommends securing our AI by first analyzing who will have rights to consume and build agents, and what agents they will be able to consume, and how complex an agent that an employee can build. So for example, we define the zone one or the citizen developers. Here, the makers are experimenting with the personal agents. IT limits what they can do. They may be read-only access, personal scope to keep it safe. And then in zone 2, we have partnered development. Here, the IT approved makers are working in managed environments. They build and deploy department wise solutions, but within the boundaries. And then we have the zone 3 or the professional developers. We are talking about enterprise grade. Pro developers building at scale using application lifecycle management practice with IT oversight. So the principle is clear. As agents gets more powerful, the governance steps up with them, making sure the data is protected, sharing is managed, and the costs are controlled. This layered approach is what ensures we can foster innovation, still keeping control of security, compliance, and cost. So, how do we ground governance and the spectrum of agent capabilities in Microsoft platform? The agent platform consists of Microsoft 365 Copilot, the spectrum of agentic capabilities across the Office suite and Teams, and Microsoft Copilot Studio, the platform that enables you to build custom agents tailored to your process, policies, and data. Together, these two pieces form a Copilot agent platform. One brings AI into your daily workflow, and others gives you the power to shape, govern it, and make it your own. So next comes about the data. So agents are only good as the data they can work with. For us, that means pulling from three main sources: productivity data in M365 and Graph, and business data in Dataverse, and analytics in Fabric. And because most environments are not Microsoft only, we also got connectors to bring in third party systems, maybe your own database or your other systems or whatever it can be. But the second you expand your data access, the stakes go up. The agents might reasoning over highly sensitive business info. So governance and control, security controls can't be afterthought. They have to be baked in. That's what the Copilot control system is designed for. Not just enabling agents, but securely enabling them. Every connector, every data call, every action is bound by policies that control who can access what. From IT and the security perspective, this means you don't have to choose between control and innovation. You can let people build and use agents knowing access, sharing, and usage are all managed in compliant framework. In short, Copilot makes data more usable, but as importantly, it makes that data governable. That's the real unlock here. We just talked about why governance and scale secure enablement are so critical as agents start touching more and more your organizational data. The natural question is how do we actually enforce this in practice? So this is where the Microsoft Purview comes in. Purview gives you the concrete tools to secure your agent data end to end. Purview is not something you knew for. Copilot. This is the same governance and compliance background you already use in M365. So what's new is that it can now extend directly into agents. First, you got this data security posture management for AI. This gives you insight into sensitive data that you are sharing through AI interaction, risky or unethical use in AI interactions, and compliance with the AI regulations. Second, data oversharing assessments let you spot where the agents might be pulling in more data than they should be. Maybe someone gave an agent the broader permission than necessary. Not that they are not just provided the least permission, but they have provided broader permission. This helps you to catch and fix before it becomes a problem. And finally, we have DLP for Copilot, or the data loss policy for Copilot, applies the same data loss prevention policies you already rely on for email, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, but now extended to agent interactions also. So you can do things like set up a DLP policy to prevent the Copilot agent from processing files based on sensitive labels. So now let's go to the demo part. Just give me a moment. Let me switch the screen. So I am in the Microsoft Purview portal, and then let me go to the DLP solution. So let me go to the policies. I already created a policy, but let me still create a new one and show. You may already know that we have a bunch of DLP policy templates for various scenarios, financial, healthcare, etc. But we are going to go with custom one. I'm just going to provide us some custom policy name. And then it is going to be for the entire my tenant, not just to a specific admin unit. And here, this screen, you may be all most of the IT admins might be familiar with where I am going to apply, where I am going to apply this policy, this DLP policy. This, in our case, we are going to apply this in M365 Copilot and Copilot Chat. So once I enable this, the all other options are disabled. And then I'm going to create an advanced DLP rule specific to Copilot. I'm going to create a new rule. I'm going to add a condition. I'm going to select the label with the confidential data, confidential or highly confidential, whatever it can be. So here I have set the condition that wherever the sensitive label is confidential, I'm going to do an action. Restrict Copilot from processing the content. This is the main thing. We are restricting the Copilot from accessing those content as a knowledge base. So we are blocking the accessing the knowledge base sources here. And finally, I just need to turn on other rules like the alerts and everything, and then I need to save it. That's it. So let's see the already created rule. So the main thing here is that they have Microsoft have Microsoft added a new location called my M365 Copilot and Copilot Chat. And then here we need to create a new role such that we need to set the condition like when I need to stop processing. In this example, we have selected a specific sensitivity label, highly confidential, and then we made the action that we need to restrict the Copilot from processing the content. So that's it. This is a very simple one. So this way you can prevent the data loss. You can create a DLP policy for Copilot, and you can prevent a Copilot from accessing the sensitive documents in your SharePoint. So we just looked at how Purview helps you secure data access with posture management, oversharing checks, and DLP. But securing access is only the part of the story. Once the agents are running, we need to make sure they continue to respect policy and that we can monitor their use. So first, the agents corner sensitivity labels. If a document has a confidential label, that label flows into the agent prompt and response. That means the Copilot won't pull information blindly. It respects the same protection you have already applied to the data. Second, Purview extends inside a risk management into AI. Security teams can now easily detect risky prompts and responses. For example, someone tries to trick an agent to surface sensitive data from SharePoint site with over broad permissions. IRM can easily flag that behavior. And finally, we have the communication compliance. This let you to monitor for non-compliant AI use across Copilot and agents. If a user are sharing information in a way that break policy, whether intentional or accidental, you can easily investigate and remediate. Let me show you this thing also, the insider risk management and communication compliance. So let me go to the insider risk management in the Microsoft Purview. Go to the policies. When you try to create a new policy, you can see there is an option called a quick policy. Here you can see there is a special type of a template, risky AI usage, which detects and alerts you potentially risk or sensitive content that Copilot experiences. So you need to use this option in IRM, and then in communication compliance also there's a new type of policy in place for this. Here also I can go, and then you can see detect Microsoft Copilot interactions. So this is the another place. So basically, we have seen there are three places Microsoft have added additional controls. One in DLP, and then we have insider risk management, and finally on communication compliance. So far, we have focused on how to protect sensitive data and enforce compliance as agents come online. But there is another dimension we need to think about. How do we manage this at scale as usage accelerates? This is the real challenge today we have for most of the security admins. How we can manage and scale the security at scale. That's the main thing. So in reality, the AI adoption moving fast. Once the agents are available, people will start experimenting, building, scaling them across teams. We need to account for uncontrolled consumption. If users are spinning up agents without guardrails, the IT can end up with unexpected spend and wasted capacity very quickly. So we have to account for governance gaps. Without clear oversight, you risk compliance issues and even reputational damage if agent access and share data inappropriately. And third, finally, scaling without cost visibility. If admins don't have ability to see usage and cost as agents proliferate, the budget overruns are almost inevitable. So this is the main challenge today the admins are facing, the budget and how they are how without the proper cost visibility we can't decide, the management also can't decide what we need to expect. We can't end up with an unexpected amount of our billing. So these are the main things like uncontrolled consumption, the governance gaps, and scaling without cost visibilities are the main issues today. So how we can manage that? The Copilot control system gives admin the controls they need to tackle these issues. So again, as I in the beginning of the session, I have mentioned that Copilot control system is not a single place system. It has been currently distributed across various places. This is the clear example. Like in one place, the here it has been distributed in various places like M365 Admin, Viva, and Power Platform Admin Center. So from here, this admin M365 Admin Center, you can control who is even allowed to create or use agents. This means enabling agents for everyone, for specific groups, or restricting them entirely if needed. This makes it easy to do phased rollout by department or security group. And then you have a centralized agent inventory inside M365 Admin Center. Here you can see all agents in one place, their metadata, capabilities, data sources, actions, and certification details. From the same view, admin can approve, block, or deploy agents as needed. And finally, there are agent level access controls also. If needed, we can remove access for a specific user or a group we can do it directly from this M365 admin center without touching the rest of the system. So instead of agents running wild, the Copilot control system gives IT visibility and direct levers to enable, monitor, and restrict agents at the organization scales adoption. So let me jump to another demo. Let me go to M365 Admin Center. In M365 Admin Center, you may notice there is a separate section called Agents. If I go to Settings under the Agents, you can see a setting called Agent setting called User Access. Here, I can clearly mention whether the agents, all the users and groups can access the agents or use the agents. So, if you want to have a phased rollout, you can specifically go for a specific users and groups and then finally to all users. If you don't want your users to have access to the Copilot Studio agents, you want to block the access to the entire Copilot, you can just select no users. Once you have done this, the users can't get access to this. Once you have set all the policies and the billing policies and everything in place, you can roll out the agents to all in phased manner. This is one setting I want to show up. And then there is another section called all agents. Here you can see all the agents that are published by Microsoft or any other third party external partners, whatever you have. For example, if there is a sales dynamic 365 sales agent. If I see open this agent, I can see all the metadata as we have already discussed, like who is the publisher and what are the permissions it requires. Currently, whether it is available to all the users, whether the users can install it or only the specific user can install it. From here, you can manage this. Suppose if you want to, as an IT admin, I want to deploy these agents, I can just click deploy, and then I can select for the to what are all the users this needs to be deployed. I'm going to deploy it to a specific user alone. I can check the permissions required, and then I can finish the deployment from here itself. So from M365 Admin Center, we have a centralized place of all the agent inventory, and also I can see the agent properties, everything. Now we have deployed it. Now if you come back to the users tab and go to deployed to, you can see the users where this agent got deployed. Suppose if you don't want this agent to be deployed to Debera, and if you want to remove from her, you can you can just do this from here itself. So from here, we have seen how you can easily deploy an agent from M365 Admin Center itself. And also you can see the details about the agent and what are the permissions it have, to whom these agents are deployed. And you can also change the settings like the permissions, like whether all the users in your organization can install it or only a specific users can install it. So this is another thing they have included with Copilot control system. So we have just seen how easily we can deploy an agent from M365 Admin Center. But the real question is, once these agents are live, how do we actually measure the usage and keep the cost under control? This is the real nightmare for all the admins. With the Copilot control system, you can access the usage in detail. This means seeing how many active users you have, how many agents are being used, and even segmenting between the Microsoft 365 Copilot licensed and unlicensed users. You actually get visibility into whether the agents were user created or they built internally or came from Microsoft or from some third party. That this context is important for adoption strategy and compliance. And you can drill down to line levels like by user, by agent, or even by specific user agent pairs. That's the level of granularity that means need to make smart decisions. And billing is not just one number. You can align billing to group or department or subscription. This means setting the policies to scope charges to specific or right cost centers, enabling the billing department or applying cross charges. This ensures finance teams are left with mystery bill. They can see which groups are driving usage and cost. And IT can align adaptation with the budget and planning. So now with the Copilot control system, you are not just turning the agents on, you are tracking how they are used and who is using them and what it costs. Let's jump into a quick demo so you can see how billing and cost visibility works in practice. So this is a recorded one. Uh, so we are going back to the M365 admin center and go to the billing and usage section. So now I'm in the billing policies. We are going to add a new billing policy. Here we need to create a billing. We are going to create a billing policy which is specifically tied with the Azure subscription. We have selected a specific Azure subscription, the resource group and everything for billing for the payments. And I can set this policy to a specific group alone. So here we are selecting UK sales, a specific group alone. And then finally we are creating the policy. So now the new policy has been created, billing policy is created. Now we are going to connect this policy with the Microsoft 365 pay as you go service. In this demo we are going to connect this with Microsoft 365 Copilot chat. Here I have selected the M365 Copilot chat and then I am selecting the sales department billing policy just we have created in the previous step. So now both these has been tied up together. We have a billing policy that has been tied up with the sales department. Now, if I go to the usage insights, I can see what are all the agents here and how much it cost and the number of messages each agent consume. Here I can filter it to the specific sales department and see what are the agents they are using it and what they cost. And I can see from here I can see which agents are adapted widely, and then we can plan for the billing and everything in future. We can do the proper budget allocation and everything. So we just saw how to create billing policy and their usage data. The next step is putting real guardrails around that spend. So with the Copilot control system, you can set budgets and spending limit right at the billing policy level itself. This means you are not just tracking the spend after the fact, you are also actually controlling it. The budgets can be reset monthly, quarterly, or annually depending on how your finance team wants to allocate cost. This flexibility makes it easier to align with your existing budget cycle. And instead of waiting for unpleasant surprise, you can set the threshold alerts for the usage at 90%, 70%, or whatever makes sense for you. So admins and budget owners get notified before an overrun happens. To really manage spend, you need visibility into what driving it. This is where the message consumption tracking comes in. Admins get near real-time visibility into how many messages the agents are consuming. This is not lagging data. You see cumulative and daily trends as they happen. Near visibility. This is for the near real-time visibility. And you can drill all the way down to the line level like per user, per agent, per billing policy, or even down to the specific user agent pair. This gives you a clear picture of who is driving the consumption. And just like with the budgets, you can set the alert for high consumption. So if an agent or group is trending above expectation, you will know early. So usage is the only part of the story. In large organizations, you are not just managing cost. You are governing agents across thousands of users and environments. That is where the scale really matters. For example, take Microsoft itself for an example. They have tons of admins. Say they have around 70,000 environments and they have 200,000 employees. The question is that how they govern effectively at that size. One approach is that they let the makers build in their own personal environments. That's the main thing. Whenever you are going to Power Platform or whenever you are going to create a new Copilot agent or Power Apps or whatever it is, uh, one approach is that we are going to build that in their own personal environment. Think this as a me agent scenario. They can innovate without worrying about other people accidentally accessing or interfering with their agents. When it's time to scale beyond personal use, you can move agents through pipelines into production environment. That this allows you to certify and deploy them with right checks and approval in place. And to make sure privacy and compliance are not afterthoughts, admin can configure welcome messages for makers. That way, every maker see upfront what the governance expectations are there before they publish. So now let's get into a demo and see how you can secure agents in Copilot Studio. For this, I'm going to the Power Platform Admin Center. So you may notice that right now I'm in a Copilot Studio. I have opened an agent. You can normally when you are designing or creating a new agent, you can see the publish button. Using publish button, you can publish it to a specific channel like maybe Teams channel or public. It can be public for wherever channel, Facebook channel or whatever channel you want. And also, we have the ability to share this agent with others. They have and also you can specify whether you are providing the view only access or the co-authoring access, whatever it is. Suppose you want to restrict the users not to publish their Copilot agents. It needs to be with them only for testing alone. You don't, as an admin, you don't want the makers to have the publish rights, and also you don't want the makers to share their agents with others for testing and also for co-authoring. You can do both the things today from the Power Platform Admin Center itself. So right now I am in the Power Platform Admin Center. Go to the Security tab and then go to Data and Privacy Settings. Here choose the data policy. Here we are going to create a new data policy, or we shall edit the existing data policy itself. Okay. Now, let me create a new policy itself that will provide a better understanding. Here search for Copilot Studio. I think today we have around 5 to 6 channels where we can publish the Copilot agents. These channels are something like Microsoft Teams, or it can be direct line channel or Facebook channel or Omni channel. And apart from that, we have the WhatsApp channel also. Now I have selected all these channels and I'm going to block it. So once I block it, the user won't get the option of publishing these agents in these channels. Suppose in future Microsoft is providing new channels, you can come back here, you can select the specific channel and block it. Apart from that, we are going to do one more thing also. Again, let me search for Copilot Studio. When you are designing agents, you from settings you can see there is an authentication settings or the security. Here I can specify whether this agent can be deployed publicly or with a specific publicly, or they need to authenticate against their tenant, like that. We can so I don't want my agents to be with open or public authentication. I Without any authentication, I don't want to provide any agents. So what I'm going to do is that i'm going to I'm going to select this policy also, chat without a Microsoft Enter ID authentication in Copilot Studio. If I block this too and then leave this and then apply this to all the environments and finally save it. Once I have created these policies and applied this, if I come back to the agent from here in the settings, the security, you can see the no authentication option has been disabled. So now I can't have an agent with available for public. That is, I can't publish this agent in my company website or anywhere. And then this publish button will be disabled. Yeah, it is disabled. And if I go to share option, we have missed to do this right now. If I want to, as an admin, I want to prevent the users from or the makers from sharing this with others for even for testing or also for co-authoring the agent. How we can do this? Again, let me go to the Power Platform Admin Center, go to environments, sorry, environment groups. Create a new environment group. Here include some environment. Since I have just one managed environment, I have already added in a specific policy, so I can't add another environment here. So for the demo purpose, I'm directly going to the rules. Here search for two settings: sharing agents with the editor permissions and sharing agents with viewer publisher. Just select these two and disable this option. Let people grant editor permission when the agents are shared. I am disabling this, so the makers can't share with other users with the editor permission. They can't do it. And similarly, let people grant viewer permission when agents are shared. So I am blocking the viewer permissions also for sharing. And come to the top and hit the publish rules button. That's it. So once you have done this, I have already done this. Let me go back. Here already I have created a environment group environment policy, and in the rule I have blocked the sharing the agents with editor permission and sharing the agents with viewer permissions. So due to this, if I come back to the Copilot Studio and come and select sharing, you can see I can't share this with anyone, even with read access itself. So this is the beauty. So we have seen how we can disable the publish option. They can just, as makers, they can just create agents and they can test it, but they can't publish it. And also we have seen how we can block the sharing of agents with others. And also we have seen how we can make the uh, agents come without we don't want the agents with public authentication or with no authentication. I don't want my agents to be available in the public channels. We have seen how we can do all these three things. And previously we have spoken about the specific thing called me agents. Let me spare me environments. That is, whenever a user is logging into Copilot Studio, I don't want to get them to a production environment. I don't want the users to use the production environment. I want the users to use their own development environment. Let's see how we can do this also. I am in the environment groups in the Power Platform Admin Center. Go to environment routing. From here, we can do this easily. So just I'm going to enable the environment routing for Copilot Studio. And I'm going to create a new rule. Whether this the rule needs to be applied to everyone, I am selecting this everyone. Here, I am going to select this option. So whenever a new user is logging to Copilot Studio, they will be redirected to a standalone dev environment. I have already applied this policy to an environment. I will show you here. So we have a user called Amy. So she is trying to log into the Copilot Studio. When she is logging into Copilot Studio, you can see she will be redirected to the environment, a specific environment, development environment created for her alone. She can build the agents in this environment alone. She can't share, and also she can't publish these agents. And also we have made the agents secure by blocking the public channels also. So how we have blocked everything like publishing and everything. So how we can provide the option to the makers to deploy their agents. Actually, they can do it through solutions. Now, I'm in the agent page, and if I go to solution, view solution, you can see a new option. I have already opened the solution page here. You can see a new option called pipelines. Here I can have various stages for in my pipeline like development, UAT, and then finally the production environment like that. I can have various stages, and then I can move this solution from one place to another, like from development to UAT and UAT to production environment like this. So in this way, you can make the developers or the makers to build their agents securely without any real obstacles or anything. You are not blocking them or anything, but you are guiding them to build their application securely with all your company policies, organization wide policy. And finally you are deploying it. While deploying it, you can test it the users will be already they have tested in their own development environment, and they are moving this to UAT, and then from there you can move it to the production environment. Like this you can do. So we have seen both the things, environment groups. And finally, we are going to talk about the governance, control, cost management, and scaling. But what the leaders are going to ask, the final question, what's the ROI? That's the main thing they are going to ask. So the management wants to have a clear view on the reporting part. So for the Copilot control system provides three main views. One is agent usage report. Uh, Here you can see what the agents are being used, and how often, and by whom. And you have M365 reporting, integrated report that shows adoption trends across Copilot and agents. And then you have Copilot Studio Insights. This is available in Viva Insight. Here you can have deeper analytics on custom agents you have built and deployed. Together, these reports, you can give both the admin visibility you need and the business insight leaders wants. So you are getting the admin, what the admin, a typical admin needs to have, and also at the same time, you can address the business needs also. So let's see the agent reporting in M365. Inside M365 Admin Center, you can drill into detailed report about the agent usage. This include metrics like total messages, the adoption trends, and the breakdown by department. These reports help you to prove business leader that these investments in Copilot is driving measurable adoption and engagement. So let's jump into demo and see this reporting in action. So we will soon have so here you can see the usage report, specific to the users, agents, and users and agents. Since it is an M365 reporting section, here the report is anonymized. You can't get the real username here. It will be anonymized with some GUID or something like that. You can see how many users are there, how many these users are using, how many agents, and the message counter, and whether they have the Copilot license or not. And then if I go to agent section, here I can view active agents with segmentation by those built by your organization or by Microsoft partners, or even those built by Microsoft itself. Here you have another report of agents. And then for agents, we want to see active users, licensed or unlicensed users. On per agent basis, what's the volume of usage? This helps agent management decision. If we really want to deep dive, we can click into the user and the agent pair level. Who are the most active users of given agents? And this is the final part. Here we are going to see how Viva Insights we are going to use Viva Insights to get the ROI detail. So I can dig deeper to see how our top agents are tracking, and we can compare them. The IT support agent is our frequently used agent with over 4,800 agent interaction. But what is the business impact here? This is the real beauty. From Viva Insights, you can get the real business impact. This agent has generated a 20% reduction in support ticket. Plus, this agent resulted in over 4,000 hours saved for the employees, reducing the support cost. So with this, my demo has been completed. The session is completed. And then here are some of the useful resources. So now if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to answer it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Premal. So it was really an amazing session. So even though we thought of thinking like you asked for 40 minutes of session, so it went for 1 hour. So
I'm
when
sorry.
we come, no, it's just like when we comes into the picture of like creating a agent, it's like we easily playing to all the AI frameworks like Copilot Studio, AI Foundry while creating agents for business requirement point of view and many custom requirement point of view. So it was really nice. Like I have a couple of doubts, like as you showcase the purview I mean purview agents, right? So when it comes into, I mean, purview is mainly like data governance, like where we mainly looking for data privacy things and all like that. So how much we can trust this copilots, or we can trust the AI agent when it comes into the picture of creating agents while using the our internal data, that means like enterprise data and all. So anyways, like as we see, like early 2022, so the ChatGPT was released like a 3.5 model on the time. Like Dell company, some of the companies they released I mean, it is publicly available whatever the data they shared with ChatGPT and all like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
So how we can trust these AI models and all?
See, if you are speaking from the Microsoft perspective, you know that when you are going to purchase a Copilot M365 Copilot, Today, at least you need to purchase Copilot license for at least 50 users. The reason is that Microsoft is going to provide a isolated tenant environment. Tenant, they have the tenant isolation in place. So, in for my tenant alone, they are going to provision the model resources and everything separately for me. So, in this case, this whatever data that I am sharing with my Copilot is not going to train the models. By this way, they are making my data secure. Microsoft is making my data secure.
Yeah, it was really nice. And one more question, like so in my current employer also, so we are plan. I mean, so my daily life is to create the AI agents. So we have to deploy in the different channels by using different frameworks as well. So as you showed, one of the deployment option, one of the channel called WhatsApp, right? So when it comes into picture of WhatsApp, how we can really deploy, like we are trying to deploy and like we are succeeded. Like I just want to know. So in real time, like it is easy to deploy from the Copilot Studio, or else like how we can use the same channel in the AI Foundry or some other frameworks. Like anyways, like Copilot Studio is allowing us to deploy directly to the chat. I mean Copilot. I mean sorry, WhatsApp,
Yeah,
Facebook in different channels.
365 or Facebook channel or whatever it is,
Yeah,
even it is to your website.
yeah.
So your question is that
Yeah, so how can I mean like so for example, let's say if we can sorry, I didn't finish my question. If we
okay.
can upload our if we can deploy our agent in WhatsApp, for example, let's say that agent can able to read all the data, right? Whatever the charger it can able to read, or like we can still trust these particular agents as well.
So my understanding is that how you can deploy it. Finally, in my demo, what I have shown is that what Microsoft suggests with the Copilot control system is that they in the demo we have blocked the publish option altogether.
Okay.
We have
Yeah.
blocked the publish option to the maker. I don't want my users to publish it directly to some WhatsApp channel or everywhere. And also, we have blocked the users, agents with no authentication also.
Okay.
So, yeah, so for the deployment, what you need to do is that you need to go to the solutions of that specific Copilot agent. There
Mhm.
you have a new option called pipelines. There you can add the stages like development, and then you have another a staging environment for testing, and then finally as a production. So as you do the real DevOps for your coding or some softwares, you can do the same thing in with Copilot control system also with the pipeline option they have introduced in the solutions part of the agent. This is how we need to take it forward. Uh,
Okay, so like DevOps, like we usually use
yeah, yes,
CI/CD, and here we can use the different environments like
yes,
Dev,
correct.
UAT, staging, and production, and the final.
Yes, correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So the same way, like I have one more interesting question. Like as we know that from last 2 days onwards, like this Anthropic is released their new models. So because
Okay.
of that, Indian IT system will be so everyone is worrying about. So these models, I mean, these models are like really, if we can plug in into our internal perspective, so it will automate every software job roles and all.
Yes.
So how confident we are, like if we can really lose our jobs, or like it really what we can say.
Yeah, sometimes I have some mixed feelings like the job may reduce or something. But right now, what I feel is that it is going to help me a lot.
Yeah,
That's the real feel I have.
yeah,
Today, when I consider in my experience and within my organization, I see it is helping me a lot,
yeah,
and it is really helping me to improve the productivity of each and every employees in all the departments. Maybe because we are daily using it across various departments like testing or for doing some designing jobs or UI. You called it Anthropic or the
yeah.
cloud model. The
Cloud
cloud
models. Yeah,
model, it's really good one. The cloud
yeah,
4.5 or 4.6 they have recently. I am not sure on the model.
yeah.
Cloud 4.5. It is really good one. It is really helpful on designing part. Like maybe we can use it in UI. I feel is that using AI agents, it is helping me. I am using this as an assistant, personal assistant to
Yeah.
me, or a learning assistant to me. I am just providing my problems, and I can get the real solutions. I can have a brainstorm or some discussions with this, and I'm moving ahead.
Yeah.
Earlier, I need to have some peers in my or some colleagues. I need to go and I need to discuss with them, but they don't know what the concept I am speaking. What they might not be familiar with the problem.
Yeah.
But with the AI agents, I am what I feel is that I have a real good assistance. I can make use of it in my environment, and it is
Hmm.
helping me to solve problems. The main thing is actually the software developers. In real future, what I feel is that we are not just going to build software. The coding is not going to be a tremendous work, or it is not going to pay off, but what
Yeah.
problems we are going to solve using, that's the real thing. We need to solve the problems. You need to build those solutions, and they take it and marketing and making it as an wide adoption. That is going to be the real challenge. The marketing and the other things are going to be the real challenge apart from building it.
Yeah, yeah. So that makes sense. Like, even though, like, Anthropic created their own models. Like, when tomorrow a new company comes into the picture, they'll create another model. So every time we are worrying about, so we don't want to worrying about. So we need to upskill ourselves, like, to
Yes,
build.
yes, yes, correct, correct.
So that is what, like, even I said to a few of my peers as well.
Yes.
So yeah, apart from,
One side people say that we have the resource crunch, and then we see there are a lot of attrition.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there will be both the sides.
Yeah, 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 pros and cons as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, yeah, so apart from that, like, so whatever you demonstrated us, it was really really helpful for us. Like, after this session, most of the people will reach out to you, so it will be really really nice session. Thank you so much, Narsim sir, and
Thank
looking
you.
forward to,
Thank you, brother. Thanks a
yeah,
lot.
another
Thanks for
session.
the
So
opportunity.
it will be like, 1 year of every weekend we are conducting this series. Like, this is the
Okay.
fifth week. Like, you can also reach out to me for another series, then we can share our insights throughout the world. Yeah, thank you so much, and have a
Thank you,
great day.
brother.
Yeah.
Bye.